All right, so we are taking a look at linear inequalities. For your quiz tomorrow, you're going to have to do 3 topics. So I want to do a couple questions from each topic. For the first topic, we have linear inequality and number line, level 1. So this is an example of a type of question you might get, and I wanted to show you guys how to answer it. Solve the inequality and graph the solution on the line provided. So we have 3x plus 10 is less than or equal to negative 2. Now we're going to use the same steps that we've been using. We're going to first locate the variable, which is right here. Then we're going to work from the outside in. So the first thing I'm going to get rid of is the plus 10. I'm going to get rid of that by subtracting it. And then we're going to end up dividing by 3. So I'm just going to put an answer there so that it will show us. So let me see. If I subtract 10, I get negative 12. Divide by 3, I get negative 4. X is going to be less than or equal to negative 4. That means I'm going to go to negative 4, click and drag till I get to the arrow. Let's submit the answer. All right, there we have it. So this is to show you the steps. So this is what I was talking about. We are subtracting the 10 on both sides first. So now we end up with 3x is less than or equal to negative 12. And then we're going to divide both sides by 3 to get the x by itself. So we end up with negative 12 divided by 3. And so that means x is less than negative 4. Let's do one more. Solve the inequality and graph the solution on the line provided. Again, here's our variable. We're going to get rid of the 20 by subtracting it, and then we're going to divide by 5. So negative 10 minus 20 gives me negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6. So that means x is going to be greater than or equal to negative 6. So we go to negative 6 on the number line, click and drag all the way to the arrow. And we're going to submit the answer. And there we have it. So they did the same step I did. Subtract by 20 first to get 5x by itself, and then divide by 5 to get x by itself. So next up, we have to solve linear inequalities, and we're just doing level 1. It says to solve the following inequality for h. Write your answer in its simplest form. Now, because we don't have just one h, we need to bring the h's together before we start this. So that 4h is going to be brought to the other side to give me negative 3h. And we have to add the 8 to the other side to give me 13. So we're going to end up with negative 3h is greater than 13. And so you're going to have to divide by negative 3. And you're going to end up with h is less than negative 13 over 3. Again, I'm doing this in my head. We'll see if I came up with the right answer. If I didn't, it's going to show us how we do it. There we go. And it's right. Now, just as I said, we're going to subtract the negative 4 on both sides. And that gave us h minus 4h is negative 3h. Minus 8 is greater than 5. So then we're going to add 8 on both sides, so we get 3h by itself. Now, Remember, we said the only time we switch that inequality sign is when we're multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So since we're dividing by -3, it changes to from greater than to less than. So we end up with h is less than -13/3. That's it. Let's try one more. All right, solve the following inequality for z. Write your answer in its simplest form. We have -7z there on the right side, so we're going to bring that to the left by adding it. So 5 plus 7 is 12. And then we're going to subtract the 6. And so that's going to be 1 on that side. So we're going to end up with 12z is less than 1. So that means z is going to be less than or equal to 1/12. So we're going to pick less than or equal to. We're going to go 1/12. And there we have it. So here's the step where they add 7 on both sides to give you 12z plus 6 less than or equal to 7. We need to remove the 6, so the opposite of plus 6 is -6. So that gives us 12z is less than or equal to 1. We'll divide both sides by 12. We end up with z is less than or equal to 1/12. Now you'll notice we didn't switch the signs because we're not dividing or multiplying by a negative number. You can add or subtract and keep the sign, but if you divide by a negative number, you have to switch it. All right, so that brings us to our third type of problem. And so we have the graph y is less than or equal to 1/4 x minus 2. So we're going to go ahead and graph that. So we go to -2 because that's our y-intercept. And then we're going to go rise over 1. Rise is 1. Run is 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's our line. And now we have to shade. We have to know whether we're shading above or below. The line we're not going to change because when it's or equal to, it's a solid line. So since it's less than, we want the shade to be under the line. Less than means below. And that's our shade. And there you go. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, as always.